Hi, I'm Julia from the class of 2020. Singapore. I'm from Cendana, so I think we have the nicest dining hall and it reminds me a lot of the one in Hogwarts. I'm a Global Affairs major. Malaysian workers crossing borders every day. My capstone is looking into how the border crossing frequency and ethnicity of Malaysian workers in Singapore and how does this affect their integration both in Singapore and back home in Malaysia. So I came up with two other topics initially, but it wasn't feasible due to some reasons. So I think I was really quite desperate for a topic, and I was talking to my suite mate Jenna, and when I was sharing with her, she told me about expanding this project I did for a class into a capstone, and it turned out to be a really good idea, which is why I'm doing this topic at the moment. Long. She's encouraging, smart, and pretty. So on the day of my capstone presentation was when the movement restriction order came into place for Malaysians. So what this means is that Malaysians can no longer cross the borders to other countries and tourists cannot enter Malaysia anymore due to the government's efforts to contain the virus. And my capstone really looks at how the border crossing frequency of Malaysians affects their integration, but because of this order, this whole process was no longer possible. And I think for me, it was just seeing how whatever I was dealing with in my capstone was such a real problem that was facing these workers, especially since the day that it happened coincided with my capstone presentation. I think the hardest part for me was really trying to find a gap in literature, because as an undergraduate, you're reading all these scholars and you're like, I don't think I can find some way in which to contribute to whatever has been written out there. And I think it's just a really long process of reading many articles, many research papers, and trying to put them all together to see in which way is there something that has not been written about yet. The computer lab, because it has big screens, you can just look at multiple documents at the same time. It's a really weird snack from FairPrice. It's called Pocky Colourful, and there's no real flavour to it. They titled it as surprise flavour. Coffee. So I think lately I've been listening to a lot of 1975 and Cigarettes After Sex. In this stage, what I'm really working on is trying to refine my writing as well as to synthesize my arguments so that it comes out more coherent. So for my capstone, my main method was conducting semi-structured interviews. So what I really enjoyed was getting the chance to talk to people on the ground, getting the chance to know my interviewees on a one-to-one basis and hearing how their experiences differed so much from each other. For me, it was looking at different research papers and seeing how each of them measured integration so differently, and I think trying to just conceptualize and to measure this concept is something that has been very challenging and very interesting at the same time. So my biggest support so far has been my suite mates as well as the other GA seniors. So for my suite mates, I think it's just nice that I can go back after a long tiring day of working on my capstone to share with them what I've been working on, as well as to complain to them about how tedious the whole process is. And for the other GA seniors, we have worked together on capstone, and I think because we have similar deadlines to meet, it's very encouraging to know that other people are also facing the same type of difficulties as you, and it's really nice when you see other people making progress in their own capstone journeys. So what advice I'll definitely give is to start early and to remain patient when searching for a gap in the literature which you hope to contribute to, because I think that formulating a question and finding an angle that you really want to focus on, it's something that's actually really difficult. And I think personally I felt that I started too late, and I was really stressed in the beginning about finding somewhere in which that has not been written about or where very little scholars have looked into. Another advice I'll give is also definitely to be passionate about your project, because you have to work on this for a year and it's not going to be an easy process. So finding something that you're truly interested and passionate about, it helps a lot.